Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Alright, welcome back to JTS Astrophotography. This is my first Astro vlog in a while. I've got a totally updated setup here tonight. I haven't filmed this in a while, so I'll show you all the new stuff I've upgraded and all that. I'm running Astrophotography tool and Sharp Cap and PhD guiding with this new ZWO ASI 120 mini monochrome guide camera, and it's sitting in the back of a QHY CCD 130mm guide scope on top of the William Optics Zenith Star 61 with the modified Canon XSI. And one of the big things I have upgraded is this huge Skywatcher stainless steel tripod. It fits the Skywatcher 3/8 thread perfectly, so this is a lot more stable than what I had before. It was a just a DSLR tripod. With this extra weight up top, I just connected a ball head to the counterweight shaft to counter the weight of this new guide scope. So everything balances out perfectly now. And with guiding, I can get great 3-minute exposures. But gonna be completely clear tonight, low and around 40 degrees, so it'll be a little cool. And I am using Sharp Cap, the program Sharp Cap, to get a precise polar alignment now with the Skywatcher Star Adventure, and it works great. It runs all through this ZWO guide camera here, and I get a spot-on polar alignment each time. And I'll show that to you here in a little bit. But tonight also I am going to do some visual observing with my homemade PVC telescope. So here it is. I just finished it recently, and it is a 60mm 500mm focal length refractor, and I have a 10mm eyepiece and a 25mm eyepiece, and it gives some pretty good views of Jupiter, so Jupiter and Saturn. So I'll be using that tonight as well. So I'll probably get a Barlow 2x Barlow lens to go in there just to magnify it a little more. But I've just got it sitting on the tripod I used to use for the Skywatcher Star Adventure. All new gear. I have been using it for the last probably month now, but I just haven't videoed it. So this is the new setup, and I'm running AC power to the Star Adventure as well as my camera. And it is all hooked up to this laptop here. Got the protective plastic container to keep it in. I can just close it up at night. I'm looking into getting a Panasonic Tough Book to keep outside in the weather, because it's going to get really cold. Just because this thing is getting really abused in the weather like this, because this is the only laptop I use for everything, processing, editing, everything. So I don't want to keep it out in the elements much longer. But also a big thing I'm using, I recently just got it, I've only tested it twice now, is a light pollution filter. I live in a Bortle class 4/5 zone, and I do have a pretty good light dome to the west and some to the east, and overall moderate light pollution. But I invested in the IDIS LPS D2 light pollution filter clip-in for the Canon models. So I have that in there now. I've been really happy with the results. It really seems to block out some of the sky glow light pollution that I have here. But tonight I'm thinking I'll probably shoot the Andromeda Galaxy. I'm really on a Andromeda Galaxy thing. If not, I might shoot the Triangulum Galaxy. So I'll either do those two. I'll make up my mind. But everything's basically set up. I'll just focus the camera and get the polar alignment, which I'll walk you through that. I'll show you my whole setup out here as I'm setting it up. So stay tuned for the rest of the video, and we'll wait for it to get dark. I'll do some planetary observation with Jupiter and Saturn through my homemade telescope, and we'll see how it goes. So it's not even dark yet, and I can see Jupiter with my naked eye right now. It's super bright, and I just tested out this PVC scope I made with the 10 millimeter eyepiece, and it's crazy. I mean, I can see cloud bands on Jupiter, all of its moons. This is crazy. I mean, it is awesome to see Saturn and Jupiter through a scope with your own eyes. And this is just a 10 millimeter eyepiece. I haven't used a Barlow either, but I mean, it's just awesome to be able to see Jupiter and its cloud bands. And I'm starting to see Saturn too. But I'll see if I can put the phone over the eyepiece here. Let's see. There's Jupiter right through the eyepiece. And you can actually see a couple of its moons in the video too. There it is. And there it is in the sky right there. Pretty crazy to build your own scope and actually be able to use it. So here I am focusing the telescope camera with the Batonov mask on the William Optics Z61. As you can see, I'm out of focus. So we'll just get those diffraction spikes aligned. A little difficult with the filter. Makes it a little harder to see, but that looks pretty well focused. Can't really see it that great on camera, but they're lined up pretty evenly, so we are focused. So here we are in sharp cap. I'm going to precisely polar align my mount here. I've already done a rough polar alignment through the polar scope, but we will connect the ZWO ASI Mini, and now the camera is taking 3-second exposures, and there, as you can see, that's Polaris right there, so that's shooting through the guide scope. And at this point it is dark enough to plate solve. So it's called plate solving. It selects all these stars and it knows where it's at. So we'll go to Tools and hit Polar Line, and now it will start taking exposures and like detect where it's at in location to Polaris. And the plate solving index is built, it says. So there's the graph and there's Polaris. Now we'll hit next. Now it says rotate your telescope 90 degrees on the right ascension axis. So I'll do that real quick. And so I just rotated the telescope 90 degrees and it has detected we have a fair polar alignment. I want to get that at excellent. So we'll hit next. And now it gives me instructions of what to do. So I need to go up 3. I need to get those numbers as small as possible. So I'll just be turning the mount left and right, up and down until that says excellent. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll get back with you when I have a precise polar alignment. So here we go. I have a precise polar alignment with using sharp cap and my guide scope and camera, and I have a supposed excellent polar alignment. There you can see on the graph there certain stars lined up with Polaris, and therefore I have a precise polar alignment. So now we have the telescope focused, precise polar alignment. Now I can start tracking and setting up my target. It just has to get completely dark yet. So here we are in APT, Astrophotography tool. So I have my camera connected, and let's turn this brightness up here. So I have the camera connected, and now I can just start taking test shots. So we'll just go about 10 seconds, 20 seconds or so, and we'll get that object centered up in frame. I am shooting the Andromeda Galaxy, and I'm probably going to do 3-minute exposures and see how that goes. I might back it down to 2, but I did 3 the last target I did, so it should. And there's the galaxy right there. So we just need to go to the right a little bit and down just a tad. So that should be good. So we'll frame that up a little bit more, and I'll be back with you. Alright, so we have the target framed up. We can put that away there. And now PhD to guiding. So here we are. We will connect equipment, and there is the ASI camera and my Star Adventure. Connect all. And let's see, they are connected. Now we can start looping exposures. So the guide camera is now taking exposures, and you can see the stars are popped up there. That's the Andromeda Galaxy right there. So I'm just going to select a star that I think is pretty good for guiding. That looks pretty good right there. So now we can hit the guide icon, and now it's just calibrating. So that'll take a couple of minutes to calibrate. So we'll wait for that. So calibration is done, and we are guiding. You can see the graph starting to run here, and we want to keep this number right there, the 0.33 number, below 1. So it's at 0.36 right now, and it'll vary by several. But as long as that is below 1, we should get pretty good guiding, enough to get 3-minute subs. So now, since we're guiding, we'll drop that down and take our first test shot. So in about 20 seconds, the first test shot's coming in. 3-minute exposure at ISO 1600, and it should be pretty good. Alright, here it comes. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. This is with the IDIS LPS D2 light pollution filter, and 3-minute subs look great. So I think that's what I'll keep doing. So I'm probably going to be shooting the rest of the night. Try to get probably 4 or 5, 6 hours on it. I'd like to not do a meridian flip, but I might have to. So, stay tuned for the final image, and I'm going to keep doing some visual astronomy, looking at the planets, some double stars, and might take a couple wide field shots with my stock DSLR. But stay tuned for the final image, and so it's 2 nights after that first night of astrophotography where I shot the Andromeda Galaxy. The next night was clear, which was last night, and I shot 3 targets. And I've never shot any of them before besides the Pleiades cluster. So I got about 30 minutes on M13, which is the Hercules globular cluster, with this setup right here. And then I switched over to the Pleiades. I got about 4 hours of data on the Pleiades star cluster, and then at around 2:30 a.m. I shot the Orion Nebula. First time shooting the Orion Nebula with this setup. At around 2:30, it's up high enough where you can start shooting it. So I got 2 hours of data on the Orion Nebula as well. So and I was doing 2-minute subs on everything I shot with that light pollution filter, and it was awesome. Like, I was so excited when I saw the first frame come in from the Orion Nebula. It looked like a finished image. It's crazy. And I shot all 3 of those targets. On the second night I used the stock DSLR. So on the first night I used my modified DSLR for the Andromeda Galaxy, and the second night I used my stock DSLR with the light pollution filter to get to retain that blue reflection nebula with the Pleiades, which in turn gives the Orion Nebula a more bluish, cool, natural look to it. So everything shot the second night was used with the stock DSLR. And at around 4:30 a.m. I took dark frames and bias frames and left it outside the rest of the night. This has been sitting outside for 2 nights now, and I'm just breaking it all down. I'm just breaking the whole setup down here, getting ready to take it inside. But these past 2 nights it has served me well. Had great guiding, easily 2-minute exposures. It was actually really windy the last night too, but it didn't phase it. It did an excellent job at guiding. So really happy with the tripod. This is my first time really using this tripod. So yeah, 2 nights of great astrophotography. Hope you enjoyed this 2-night event astro vlog. I'll have four astrophotography photos now through these 2 nights, so should have some really great photos coming up. So I'll start stacking and processing. And once again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. And until next time, clear skies.